Hello, and thank you for watching in advance. My name is Allie Riggs, and if you don't know me, you are about to get a much better idea of who I am, what I do, and why I do it. So, I've kind of been challenged with sharing a little bit of myself and, like I said, my why, so that you might have the benefit of kind of knowing a little bit more about me and finding something that you can hopefully relate to. So, I think there's like a lot to this story, but I'll try and keep it as short and sweet as I can. I think that if you were to ask one of my friends to describe me, they'd probably say that I am a fun, outgoing, loud girl. I can be strong-willed, kind of outspoken. Definitely the extroverted type. But what they may not say or know is that for a lot of my life, I have struggled with insecurities. And a lot of that insecurity is a physical one, which led to like a lack of confidence in myself in other areas, I would say. So, kind of started at a younger age. I know whenever we think about like our health and fitness journeys and where like this idea of who we are as a person kind of starts to develop when we're pretty young. And for me, I would say in like fourth or fifth grade was when I became self-conscious about my body and how I looked. I'm not going to say I was fat because I wasn't, but I always felt so much bigger than everyone. And I was. I hit a growth spurt just a lot sooner than everybody else. I mean, as tall as I was, you would have thought I'd be 7 feet tall at this point. But I just grew up faster than almost all of my friends and family. I have a sister that's 2 years older than me, and she and I have completely different body types. She is very long, lean, slender, she was a rail when we were growing up. And as a kid, I didn't really understand that. She was getting my hand-me-down clothes. 2 years older than me. Getting my hand-me-downs. Still gets my hand-me-downs. I've gotten over it. But, that messed me up, I want to say. Like, I didn't understand it, and it always made me feel unconscious and self-conscious, and it felt unfair. And it continued to feel that way with a lot of my friends who would share clothes or swap clothes, and I couldn't do that. Fast forward to college, when everybody's kind of grown up by then, right? And I still couldn't really share clothes with my friends. Maybe some tops, never pants. Never had any jeans that I borrowed from anybody. And I didn't take care of myself, being honest. I thought that, buying chicken and eating black beans would be a way of losing weight when I was younger, and I remember doing some like workout videos sometimes in my house, but I partied. I'm a party girl. It's just inside me. So, every freaking 5 nights of the week I was out boozing, and you don't at the time really think about that. And I had all my other girlfriends too that were doing it, and they weren't overweight, blessed with amazing metabolisms, and some of them worked out. I roomed with a girl who is an athlete, and she has been her whole life, and that was never me. I didn't play soccer. I didn't, ever train for a sport, really. And I just remember going out, and I can turn it on. I can go out and be with you out in public after having, like, the worst day, and I can turn it on for you. And a lot of it is genuine. I mean, I would say I gain a lot of energy being around other people, but sometimes it can be really depleting when I'm by myself. It's a little hard to describe, but, I remember being in college and thinking that I'd never have a boyfriend, I'd never lose the weight that I wanted to lose, I'd never be confident in a bathing suit. I would always try and find a cover-up to wear when there would be things like formals and that kind of stuff on the beach. Spring break, I wasn't happy. And I would do things like go to the gym and not have a clue what I was doing and get on the elliptical for an hour, and I could do some things to feel like I was trying to lose the weight, but nothing consistent, nothing stuck. graduate from college, meet my now husband, and he's wonderful. And we would go to the gym together. I remember joining the gym, and he would go do his thing down in the weightlifting area, and I'd go upstairs and get on a cardio machine, feel like I'm not really doing anything, not seeing any changes in my body, spending all this time there, and never really feeling good. And sorry, I'm like already starting to cry, but it's just the worst feeling to feel so alone in it too. You know, I had my husband who was cheering me on and taking me with him to go to the gym and wanting to help. But like, I'm sorry, there's a difference between men and women and our bodies and our metabolisms and what we can do. And I always just felt like I wasn't good enough and that, you know, he was trying to help me, but I couldn't accept his, you know, his love and support the way that I, you know, really wanted to. And it wasn't until I saw on Instagram some girls working out and having great results and you know, giving Beachbody a shot. I thought, I can work out at home. I can give this a try. Look at these great results. And I did it, and I got results. And more than that, I got a mind shift. And I met this community of women that were not only working on themselves, but helping others. So another big part of my story that's really hard for me to share is talking about, you know, being out in public and spending time with my friends and family and being genuinely happy when I'm with them, but going home and, like I said, feeling very alone. I don't want to say depressed, but, you know, I usually say, like, I just struggled with mood instabilities. And I can't describe how alone I felt. I remember, like, just coming home sometimes from class and just crying, just not being able to move, not being able to talk to my husband about what was wrong. I couldn't tell you what was wrong. I just felt empty and alone and like nothing in my life was going to change. I'd be lying if I said I don't still have those days, because I do. Today was one of those days for me, actually. But I will say I get them less frequently. And I have someone, I have ways that can tell me how to get over it. I know that I can get over these like dark days, as I'll call them. Today, I like had a breakdown moment with my husband, and I was just feeling so defeated, and I didn't get my workout in before I left for my clinical rotation, and I just had all of these things that felt so bad, and again, I didn't really feel like he understood, but you know what I did? I sent a message to my coach, and was just vulnerable with her and let her know how I was feeling. And, you know, she responded right away. We talked about it. I'm starting to read this book. I feel like I'm going off on a tangent. But, like, you know, this company, this community, it's more than just doing home workouts and eating right and all of that. It's about this community and learning, switching your mental game. And knowing that now that I have all of this, now that I've found this community, like I have everything I need in my toolbox. It's right here. It's on this computer. Like all I have to do is log in, and there's a community of women, and they're not going anywhere. Beachbody's been around for decades. This community is doing nothing but growing, and it's all right here for me. It's all at my fingertips. Working on my nutrition, working on my physical health, but keeping my mental health game strong. So when I think about my why, there's a lot of reasons to my why, but I don't ever want to go back to those like dark days that happened a lot, because they used to happen a lot, and it's just not a good feeling. And I just am so grateful for knowing that I have what I need to get through what's ever going to come my way. And I hope that I'm explaining this right. It kind of all feels like a jumble. But, you know, moving forward, I want to be in this community. I want to help other women who may have experienced something like I have or felt the way that I have and not been able to talk to anybody about it or not feel like they're understood maybe by their partner, and be someone's coach, like friend. I mean, my coach Joy, she's my friend and she's my supporter, and she's like, she feels like big sister that, you know, I can talk to and come to with, and I want to pay it forward. I want to keep this community going, and I want to bring other people into it so that they can have a toolbox of their own, and they're not searching for classes at the gym, and they're not going to, you know, a new class, something that's popular, maybe that people are trying and, you know, are spending a bunch of money on because it's the popular new fad workout. Like, you have a toolbox and it has everything you need. It has everything you need for your inside, your outside, and up here, and in here. And I know that sounds freaking cheesy. Like, sometimes I listen to what comes out of my mouth and it sounds cheesy, but it's true. And I want this. I want this for you if you're watching this and you feel like I did, you know, maybe you need a confidence booster. Maybe you know, what's your reason? Like, because there's also, I can guarantee you, if I haven't said what my why may not match yours, but I know that somewhere in this community there's someone who has that same why and that same drive and that same problem or that same issue or that same mountain that you are trying to climb. And that's why, you know, my big why. And I also have to plug in here because I am I'm a nurse currently, and I am right now slated to graduate with my doctorate in nursing practice this August 2019. It's been a long road. And, you know, on a side note, the other day I had to diagnose a woman with type 2 diabetes. And I understand that, you know, some people have a genetic link to these types of, but big part of me as a healthcare person, professional if I may, believes that type 2 diabetes is a preventable disease. Something that we can conquer through fitness and nutrition. And my heart just broke for her. You know, she is someone's daughter, mother, wife, aunt. And, you know, what if somebody had found her 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and given her a toolbox and said, listen, if you can do these things, like, you probably won't have to manage a chronic disease the rest of your life. And that's like another conversation for another time, I think. But like, when I think about my future and the days that I'm feeling great and I'm not concerned about my workout because I'm not having my dark days, my mood instability, and, maybe I want to go out and just have a free-for-all. Like, I know deep down, like, in the future, I want to keep this health and fitness. I am 32 years old. It's hard for me to admit that I'm in my 30s. It just feels really weird. And until you're in your 30s, I don't think you'll understand. But like, I want to be healthy in my future. I do not want preventable disease to be a part of my future. I do not want to have to go to the doctor and spend money on medicine to combat my disease. I don't want to have to go in and have people look at my feet because you can't feel your toes, and that's part of diabetes. And your skin breaks down and you can't heal, and you get, all of these other, it's a cascade. And I don't want that. And I don't want that for my husband. I don't want that for my family. I don't want that for my hopefully future family that I make of my own. So I know that kind of went off on a tangent, but that's something else I feel really passionate about because it breaks my heart to see these patients who maybe just didn't know, maybe just didn't take the opportunity to find something to change their life. Because one thing I've learned is that if you're not putting yourself first, you're not going to be able to help anybody else. So I show up every day for myself first, and then I show up for everybody else. That's it. Thank you for watching if you're still here. 15 minutes is what the thing's telling me. No, I didn't get dressed up or anything for this. I actually just worked out and came in here. But that's another part of me. I hate getting showered and ready and makeup. That's just not my thing. But we can chat about all of those things later. If you have any questions, if you need somebody, if you are watching this right now still, and maybe something's kind of going off in your ear saying you should reach out, you should talk to her, talk to me. I'm a real girl, sitting here in Louisville, Kentucky, talking to her computer, hoping that this changed just maybe one person's life. It's worth it for me to put this out there to the world, because one life is worth changing, and how freaking cool would that be? So, thanks.